Hi, I'm KD, and welcome to So Get the Podcast. Let's go get this show started. So today I would like to start off with, let me fix this camera for a second. Shout out to V, aka they call it Real OG. It was a cake day today. She turned 17. Just want to shout out her on that achievement of making it to this moment of her life. But it's just beginning, so I want her to enjoy the rest of it, do the best she can, and everything will be okay. I want to talk about the Lakers and LeBron James in that series against the Denver Nuggets. It was a great series. Denver Nuggets was the best team in the NBA because they were I believe the number one seed. They also played like the number one seed in that series. LeBron, with a great performance, it just wasn't enough. I believe he almost had a triple-double with 40 points. I'm not sure it's going to be his last game of his career, 20th season, I believe. He didn't say much about it, but he said a lot about it, the things that he has to think about his career going forward. And I believe he also spoke about his son and possibly playing with him on the same court or not. He still have the drive and the passion. Like I stated, the last game he just played, they got swept. They couldn't win one game. I'm not going to say it's one individual problem and or responsibility why they didn't win. You can coaching. You always lean on coaching, and I believe the coach was coaching his first year in LA, and a couple players that was playing even on that team for the first time. Coaching should have been much better. But you gotta tilt your hat to the Denver Nuggets. As far as they played like the best team in the NBA right now. They are the best team in the NBA right now. I believe Boston just won one in Miami, so that series will still continue, and Boston still have a chance. It's going to be a tough hill to climb for Boston, but they have the talent and the coaching and the organization to overcome 3-1 deficit. But we'll wait and see with that. So LeBron should definitely take time to himself to figure out if he's going to continue to play out his career in the NBA, or he just going to hang the jersey up and retire and focus on things that he really want to do in the off season, personally or business wise, because he has a lot on his plate. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the decision he's going to make. Someone else, Carmelo Anthony retired too. Was another great player. Hell of a player, actually. Want to say wish him farewell and thank you for his contribution to the NBA. So moving forward, I want to start off with something that was on my radar. Hope everyone is doing okay out there. Okay, so this one here, excuse me. This weather's changing in the sinuses. A little frustrating, but we'll make it through. It's all right. So, it was a judge that someone had bought $63 of lottery tickets. They ended up suing for $4.3 million. The person didn't realize they didn't win, and the judge agreed even though their tickets didn't even match. So you played the lottery, the tickets didn't even match the winning number, and you sued. Okay, so the lawsuit linked to the largest lottery scam in the U.S. history has reported settled the case for a whopping $4.3 million. Name is Dale Collar, 43, is among at least 3 people who launched legal proceedings against the Multi-State Lottery Association after discovering the game he had entered was rigged. The lottery stated that it was rigged, right? Like I stated, he spent a total of $63 on tickets for 2 separate games and didn't match a single number, but the judge still agreed he had been conned. The insurance salesman from Burlington, Vermont, believed he was cheated out of a fair chance of winning the jackpot after the lotto system was tampered with by a former employee. Polk County District Court Judge Michael Hubert allowed him to seek damage on behalf of hundreds of thousands of players in January. Lawyers argue that the system failed to prevent games from being rigged and failed to operate them in accordance with their own rules. People not even following their own rules and own regulations in corporate America right now. It's going crazy. The Iowa-based nonprofit has continued to deny any wrongdoing. Of course, they're not going to, but agreed to settle the case for $4.3 million, according to the Register. A settlement will reportedly refund the cost of the tickets purchased for 9 Pacific drawing dates for games that were sold in 33 states, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. Players who bought tickets between November 23, 2005 and May of 2013 will be able to request reimbursement for their tickets. They reportedly agreed to allow a date to receive 30% of the settlement, which will equate to $1.29 million for his legal fees, as well as a $20,000 incentive award for the fronting the lawsuit. Sound like he a professional player or something, getting incentives. Rest of the cash will be split between other players who unwillingly bought tickets for rigged games. A decade-long saga of one of the biggest lottery scams in the U.S. history, orchestrated by former IT director Eddie Tipton. He pulled off $24 million scandal over 5 years by rigging lotto computers and sharing the spoils with his family and friends. Tipton planted computer code into a random number and generating computer software which allowed him to manipulate the odds. It rigged lotto draws in Colorado, Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas, and Oklahoma, and gave players like Dale an even worse chance of winning. The ex-lotto employee first saw success with his scam in 2005 when he landed a $4.8 million jackpot. All began to unravel in 2010 when Tipton bought the winning ticket himself. Tipton then asked a friend to claim the $16.5 million prize. It took 3 years for investigators to link Tipton to the lottery scandal. Man, 3 years? He pled guilty to ongoing criminal conduct in 2017 and was ordered to repay $2.2 million in winnings. I thought that man won 24. Don't worry about it. He told a judge at a sentencing hearing in 2017 he wrote software that included code that allowed him to understand or technically predict winning numbers and gave those numbers to other individuals who then won the lottery and shared the winnings. Tipton was released on parole in July last year after serving 5 years of a 25-year prison sentence. So he came off with $24 million in the scandal, and he did a 5-year bid out of 25 on parole, and only had to pay back $2.2 million. Okay, so excuse me. I know a lot. I know some people that actually play the lottery. I believe a lot of people play the lottery. I don't believe it takes skill set to win a lottery, but people play it so much, believing that they can actually win, that is actually proof there that it's out of your control. It's you taking your hard-earned money that you work for, that you could easily, take that finance and, put it into your household or even invest in yourself. Respectfully though, if how you want to be identified, you can spend your money on whatever you want. But just with that came across my radar, even the employees can prevent you from winning no matter where you are. Yes, I know I named a few states. I said actually 33, that those who are behind the glass, that's taking your numbers and putting it in the system, they can control if you win or not, even more than them actually doing their job. So those who like to invest their money into the system that takes no skill at all, I would suggest that you would think that over, look in the mirror, and maybe take some of the hard-earned money and invest it in yourself. Moving on. Let's say space plant, right? China's mysterious space plan released an unidentified object in the orbit versus intelligence reveals. After 9 months in orbit, China's mysterious space plane has landed for the second time, making the nation one of the few entities to successfully launch and recover a reusable spacecraft. However, the Chinese government has released very little additional information, of course, about the craft. The details of its design capabilities and performance remains hazy. Expert thinks the Chinese plane is likely similar to the Boeing X, I believe it's 37B U.S. space plane that debuted in 2010. Kevin Peter, a research scientist at the center of the analyst, told Nature.com that the revive of the X-37B sparked concern within the Chinese government over the craft military potential. According to the CSIS report, the craft released an object into orbit sometimes in October. The object apparently disappeared in January, only to suddenly reappear on the satellite tracking radar in March. Experts believe this could indicate that the plane has some sort of satellite removal capabilities, such as a robotic arm. Spacecraft. That's not bad, Contended to who were the leader of that situation, that aircraft went up there and made it back safely. So that lets you know that, that it could be done, that it has been done. With everything that's taking place in the world today, I definitely believe it. I'm not sure about you all about going out of space and doing any of those things, but people are preparing themselves, have been preparing themselves, and also have a visit in a different planet. So at the end of the day, The U.S. definitely are aware of that, of this orbit, and like I stated, it's similar to what was done in 2010. So that's a very interesting situation that's taking place there. So I'm looking forward to seeing more information come out about what's next, right? So moving on, it seemed like, of course, like just do good and good ruling, and then there's another ruling that you can kind of question or questionable, the decision that's been made. But moving on, this is the Supreme Court. This gives IRS green light to seek bank records without notice. There's so much going on. The IRS doesn't have to notify bank account holders before requesting their records of efforts geared toward collecting someone's else delinquent taxes. The IRS is given broad authority under Tax Code Section 7609 C2D, which exempt the agency from giving notice when a summons is issued to help collect a tax assignment against a person with respect to whose liability the summons issued, according to the anomalous High Court. The decision was authored by Chief Justice John Roberts. His first opinion out of the 25 decisions released so far this year. So from everything of the economy and them trying to get to agreement of the debt in the U.S. and I believe they're going to launch a new app called FedNow, and it's allegations of allegedly that you have to spend your money, you won't be able to have to save it of a period of time. If you don't spend it, you would just lose your money. So now that they're saying that they can go into people's accounts without any notification to you, people need to wake up. People need to wake up. Moving on. Okay, Montana. They passed a bill. Montana is the first U.S. state officially bans TikTok, and also said it will be a $10,000 fine per violation. The bill is set to completely ban TikTok across Montana effective January 1st, 2024. With this legislation passed, Montana has become the first state in the U.S. to implement a statewide TikTok ban. Under the bill, bait dance will be barred from operating in any form or fashion in Montana. Anyone found to be violating the law will be fined. Previously, like I stated, $10,000 per violation per day. This fine, however, wouldn't be paid by the TikTok user, but rather by bait dance itself. Any app store caught distributing the app after the ban goes into effect will also be charged, including Apple and Google, even though the bill has received all the approval it needs in the state of Montana. There are expected to be legal challenges over the next 7 months. Legal experts expect that whatever happens in Montana will set the precedent for the rest of the United States. The U.S. federal government has banned TikTok on government devices and has numerous other countries around the world. So I know a lot of people, I know artists, musicians, and just talent creators that utilize that platform to bring awareness to who they are and or what they have going in their business in corporate America or just in their household, whatever, just entertain themselves and their family and loved ones. Previous episodes ago, I stated, and you all should be aware of what TikTok utilize, continue to your information and why they use your information without your permission, things of that nature. So for a state to actually come out and attempt to be the first one to set the trend, they feel as though they care about their people, where they're from, and their privacy. And not only that particular state, people need to be aware and or concerned about where their private information is being utilized without their permission. Once again, people need to wake up about what's transpiring right in front of you, and need to start doing what's best for yourself and your loved ones. I just want to come in and talk to you, you all, and appreciate everybody for continuing to tap in and also watching. I appreciate the support. Hi, I'm Katie, and this is So Get the Podcast.